All right, all praise to the Most High Yahweh and to His Son, my brother, Amashiach, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. All right, in this video, we're going to get into some thoughts about um, some DNA information that I heard about from a YouTube channel. So the platform is dealing with DNA information, dealing with various groups of people, and the platform is geared towards Black Hebrew Israelites, as they say, Afrocentric people, and other people that are in the mindset of DNA information. So, my thoughts, real quick, is I watched several of their videos before, um, and I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that they are promoting or talking about. So it's some stuff we might agree on, a lot of stuff we don't agree on. Um, so the argument is they did like a review of an article. Let me see if I still have it up. Let's see the article. Yeah. So I still have it. So this video is gonna be about a article that this platform was sharing as information, and this is just one of those things to where they are trying to reinvent the limbo hoax. So for people that don't know about the limbo hoax is dealing with this tribe in Africa being the lost tribe of Israel, or one of the lost tribes of Israel. And um, they picked this group of people because they say they have ancestry from Israel. And they left Israel, um, Northern Kingdom. This is like people that live in Northern Kingdom, Levitical people and other tribes relocated to Zimbabwe and other parts of South Africa before the Syrian captivity happened. So either Nat Geo or the History Channel did a story on these people, and they did it on the artifacts and skull samples, and so they did various sites and detailed information. The skull sample was useful for the hoax to be presented. The architect was very useful because it showed um, a consistent pattern from Israel into various places in Africa, a connection of architect being created that matches in Israel. And there's like a lot of various arguments that you could get into that don't make sense with what they were talking about in the article. So without me like going crazy and getting lost into the various things and ranting about it, I'm gonna try to um, properly present the argument why they are not the people in I'm gonna state the obvious, so let's get into this information. So we're not gonna go too deep into this information. It's just like a start point. So we are in Africa, the Y haplogroups, paternal groups. So all these are the paternal groups that are present in Africa, whether it be ancient or modern. So AB is dealing with Hamitic groups of people, E1A, Ishmaelites, E1B1, E1B1A, Israelites, E1B1B, Edomites, E2, Midianites, J, Japhetic people, R1B, Japhetic people, T, Japhetic people, O and I, Japhetic people. So we got all that into understanding. So real quick, we're gonna just go down E1B1A. So this is just something that we are just gonna reference off and on, or maybe later. So bear with me with this information. J. So we go here for a reason. So we are here at J. What J group? It doesn't matter because literally J is the same group of people. J1, J2. J1 is the original group. J2 is just a latter group. So okay, so notice the percentages. We're gonna just look into the high percentages. So I think that was it. Okay, so scroll back up. So let's not be surprised at the ethnic group or the demographic. So let's look at this. Not surprised. Another one. Another one. Um, was there any more? That any more? So remember, a lot of these groups of people, you see, I like to use this um, African layout for like a template or foundation of telling people about Japhetic groups of people. So with that being said, let me scroll out, go here. Let me get into the album. Okay, so right here we are at a widening a haplogroup map. So this is dealing with paternal groups of people. Everybody paternal lineage is represented on this map. So for people that in that one West doctrine dealing with the white DNA or the paternal group or the father ancestry, this is for y'all, you know. Nothing but white DNA, straight shot, straight line. This is that information. So the argument is this. So um, Japhetic group of people start with this G group, the G group to T. So you have some T in Saudi Arabia and some T in India, or um, this region to the coast of India. So you have some in Saudi Arabia and parts of India, probably possibly Pakistan as well. So G to T are dealing with Japhetic people. So I call Japhetic people um, the imitation race, because of their ability to mimic or to look like they're the native of a region when they are not. They are basically the a new group of people of a mutation pool of constant new people of people, or constant pool of new people. And I say that because they have like a lot of branches. So a lot of races of people migrated via walking or via sailing the seas. So we are not gonna get into like denying people capability of moving anywhere, because birds been around, other animals been around. So a lot of birds often have the ability to be trained and to be taught to do certain things to begin with. The other issue is you got a lot of places with animals that are not, native to the region, and that was brought to a region, you know, many centuries ago. So, and not just that, but also you have the common sense of when people move around, relocate, they tend to bring animals, livestock, food, and if necessary, their women. And I say if necessary, their women, because sometimes you have some cases to where um, a lot of groupings of movement of people tend to leave behind their women group and pick up another women group, and they carry on the journey with another group of women. So this passport bro setting or trend is not a new thing. There's nothing new underneath the sun. So, so the argument is J2 being Israel. So we see this green, the light green, and it's curving from Iran to southern Italy. In between southern Italy and Iran, there's Turkey, Greece, and Israel. The only issue is a lot of this Greece territory and Turkey region, a lot of that territory was originally um, native to these people in the ocean right here, the K group. So the K group is the original people from that region. A lot of the other parts are dealing with this R group. So you have the K and the Greek Isle region. You have J being possibly from Turkey and a backside point of reference of uh, southern Georgia, Russia, or Armenia region, because you can see the G2. So remember, the G is the first group of Caucasian people. The first group. And then you have the H. Then you have the J. And then you have the K. The issue is K is dealing with a dark complexion group of people. R1 is dealing with a dark complexion group of people, as you can see with this R1B in Africa, as well as a pale complexion group of people. So you have a lot of Western Europe and a lot of the Americas, and this is dealing around with the Native American ancestry in the Northeast region of America. So let's get back into this J conversation. So J1 is dealing with parts of Egypt, parts of Sudan and Ethiopia or Eritrea, that region, and then you cross over into Saudi Arabia, Yemen, so on. So remember, there's a lot of other groups of people in Africa that are way older than this J group. And remember, this J group is not even the reference point of the article and the argument. So the article is a recent article, but the crazy thing about it is it's not the first or the original article on ancient DNA in Israel. And the issue is, when you make these arguments, you tend to forget about historical points and other things that go along with the information that you're trying to relay and articulate. So, when you get into these topics, you got to be mindful of the region in Israel and various Bible prophecies or scriptures and so on. And I'm hit or miss with all that stuff. I'm like, not the greatest with historical points, not the greatest with Bible precepts, but I know certain things about a lot of these things, little bits and pieces of information to where I won't forget when I, go in on a situation, and it's like the focus point is that one reason, and there's other possibilities and points that make more sense than what I'm trying to relate to people. Is like, are you forgetting like the region? Are you forgetting what happened? So a lot of times people forget about a lot of history. A lot of people in general are not good at history. And a long time ago, when I was in school, I was very good at history, very good at geography, A+ student, so on. As you get older and as you come across more information, the more you know, the more you don't know about a lot of things. And that what happened to me. So now I can't say any of that. At best, I'm okay or good with this DNA information, Other than that, I'm constantly learning a lot of stuff about a lot of things all the time. So, with this information that you're constantly learning, we have to be very mindful that Israel have been the historical focus point of every civilization, every ethnic group on the planet. Everybody always wanted to go to Israel to see it, to conquer it, to add it to its civilization. So we can't sit here and add like topsoil samples of skull, fractures, and pieces are gonna be the ancient DNA of Israelites. We can't do that. Like, are we not understanding that there's environmental disasters, other things that happen to create layers and layers of debris, um, environmental landscape settlement on top of various points of landscapes. So you have a lot of wars that went on that would bury people in parts of Israel. And Israel is pretty much like a very temperate desert. It has valley, it has a desert, it has green layouts varying in certain points. Other than that, it's in a desert region. So you have sandstorms that happen that layers, on top of the features of the land. So we can't add like there's nothing, growing on top of the landscape constantly. So how are you gonna make that argument about J2 being Israelite DNA with that being the case? Them not digging far enough, them not digging at UNESCO sites. So I think the host on the platform on Genesis 49 was trying to say UNESCO sites, but said OSHA sites. But yeah, UNESCO sites exist, and a UNESCO site has to be, approved for research. And most of the time, that's why they have it for. They have it to limit the amount of people footprints and carbon tracking in the region, so they could, isolate the area, keep it as a private property for the elites to do whatever they want on the property. But most of the time, they like to do their white paper research stuff on the property. So there is um, a, a UNESCO site in mind that would be very beneficial to understanding the obvious information about ancient DNA of Israelites. But as far as I've seen, they only went to Masada to figure out the DNA of barley. So hopefully, the next round of research would be done on people or skull fragments found in Masada. So for people that don't know about Masada, Masada is um, a fort city that a lot of Israelites fled to during the siege of Jerusalem. So the Romans basically blockade the city to starve out the people that was still there. So we have to be mindful of certain regions. So that's dealing with southern um, Israel or Judea, Now we talking about other information that is dealing with Megiddo. So Megiddo is another place. Like this is northern Israel. So this is something that is dealing with either northern or central Israel. So this is a territory that been fought on often. So a lot of the DNA information is coming from conquering groups of people. So keep that in mind. So let's go to this article. Let's go to this article real quick. So this is the recent article. So I can't even say, there's a high possibility of these people, um, not the research team, but I'm talking about the skulls and everything that they've been finding at these sites. I can't even say that these things are being planted for them to find. The issue is Israel been in a lot of civilizations or empires. Israel had a lot of civilization conquer it. Israel had a lot of wars and battles. Period. So look at this picture. Look at the topsoil that they are removing. That's not far enough. And at the places that they need to go, it's conveniently a UNESCO site. So we are gonna just scroll down. If y'all want to read this, put it in a link in the description for this video. So all I'm just scrolling down is to look at the haplogroup and the macro group. So a lot of times they don't like to disclose that information, but here they did, and basically it's just them doubling down on uh, the limbo hoax, just doubling down on it. So as you can see, once again in this picture, so here we are. So they're talking about a window of time. I think um, the channel was talking about something different, but other than that, yeah, they used the same article. This is the same article that I'm using that they use. So I want people to be informed about this region. So we'll get there because it has the DNA information with it. So I passed it. Uh-oh. Went too far because, yeah, that was the mitochondrial DNA information. Here we go. So this migration was already in motion in the early Bronze Age, around 29,000, 25,000 BCE. Pottery stuff, influence, you know. So Okay, it continued in the Middle Bronze Age, as seen in the study of ancient DNA of individual from Megiddo. So this is the region that they are doing all their research in. And other places, and is evident in the mention in historical texts. You know, so let me scroll up because I just want to show y'all the DNA information. Did I pass it? No. Bear with me. All right, here we go. The highlight of the very partial results. J2 Halpogroup. So as you see that, this is the argument that I was making. So how and why are you gonna make a talking point or argument for J2 to be Israelite DNA when this is dealing with northern Israel and this is dealing with territories that have been, in various groups of civilizations and empires. And the marker is obviously dealing with a ancestry from the Caucasus Mountain region because of G. So maybe I have to like continue to watch the video, but this is what I took from the video with watching so many minutes of it when the person was getting into a rant about how we should just accept J as Israelite, you know, DNA is like, did the DNA company, did the Jews give you money to say that? Because like that's exactly what the Limba hoax did. The Limba hoax took in everybody but the E1B1A. It's like you get an Israelite certificate, you get an Israelite certificate, you get one, you don't. They literally gave a lot of these people Israelite, Israelite or Jewish ancestry minus E1B1A. So that what that host did. So you have this J2. So J2 haplogroup, a group of closely related DNA sequence that is believed to have originated in the Caucasus, Eastern Anatolia. No duh, that's the only place. So we scroll down because we need to do the H or the mtDNA. And then they have a T group. Look at that. Uh, is that mitochondrial? As for the mitochondrial DNA, which is inherited from the maternal side, yeah, that there was one T1A. Yeah, this is like not even close. But yeah, there was a H, and then the second H87. Yeah, these are not even close. And that's about it. Like, so notice this article. This is like a recent article, but it's like, how you gonna claim that when there's like already research papers already done on this? But this is dealing with southern Israel or Judea. So it's pretty much very similar, minus, other things. So let me scroll back up so people can see this. So this is not recent. This is like old stuff. So we're gonna just scroll down. Okay. So trying to slow this up so people could pause and read whatever they need to read about this information. Notice they have reference points of scripture involved with this. Bear with me. Just trying to give people time to follow this information. Oh, I'm sorry. So here you go. This is like the whole thing to where you are an Israelite. You get a certificate for being an Israelite. You could be an Israelite. And now, okay, the Y chromosome studies. The Y chromosome on account of haplostate. So the first one in the three regions under consideration, Y haplogroup J M304 is the major haplogroup population frequency. Okay. Haplogroup J itself splits into J1 and J2, like I was saying before. A lot of these genetic groups of people are just closely related. Basal genes, no basal genes, same grouping of people, different migration periods, different settlement points, and so on. Same group of people. G to T. So we're just talking about J, and further down we get into other stuff, but yeah, J1 and J2. So remember, this is the so-called ancient stuff, and most likely this is not. This is just all those people that are coming in to conquer the territory, various points in history, dying on top of the current landmass, and then over time, the sand and other things tend to pile up on top of it, and that's it. So, and this even tell you once again about Jay being from that Georgia, Russia, Armenia region. Because the whole thing is they trying to make Georgia, Russia, that Caucasus Mountain region, closer to Israel versus Egypt to Israel. That's all they trying to do, and that's why they put that Suez Canal, and now everybody got that little Nelson Mandela effect in their mind, saying that uh, Africa is not connected to Israel because of the Suez Canal, as if the canal been there forever since the Garden of Eden. So remember, this is just an old paper, and this is dealing with southern southern Israel. So you have EV13 and GM with a mutation. So E1B1B and G was also found. The Y chromosome patterns of contemporary population offers a lens through which to explore the possible demographic effects of Iron Age Philistine in the far southern coastal Levant. So now we are coming up on mtDNA information. You have U3A, that's a Northern African grouping of women. You have H and H6. So not H87 in this region, it's H and H6. Nevertheless, H and U, all those, they are still Japhetic groups of women. Um, so the crazy thing is when you get into mtDNA and you start to research, let's say African American women DNA information. So a lot of, not a lot, but a percentage of African American women will have U. So you have a percentage with U, and it's not uncommon for African women to have H. So you have U and H. So very tiny percentage because you have this H group being uh, the group of women that a lot of Shemitic groups of people, especially the E1B1B group of men, are using to become pale complexion people. So a lot of those E1B1B groups are dealing with H groups. Now you do have E1B1A grouping of men that have uh, dealings with H as well. You have them dealing with U3, a lot of the L's, and um, something else. L's, U, there's other groups of women as well. I don't know right off the bat because L is basically dealing with like Hamitic and Shemitic groups of women. There are, various other groups that E1B1A um, deals with because like people comment all the time their DNA information is like splits of a lot of tears. So and this is common because remember the Bible prophecies of being scattered. So be mindful of that. But the same rate, you don't have that for this J. But you have something else that is crazy. Like DNA is so fascinating and interesting to where so that whole thing was good for the goose is good for the gander or something like that. Well, the women, the Israelite women, the so you have E1B1A with like other groupings of you know women besides L2. You have L2 being like a premier group in Europe, a part of a Ashkenazi pool of ancestry, even though all the L's are from Africa. This is just dealing with um, what the migration, and this is like going towards the whole information of Israel being scattered, Israel being in various captivities, and women and men still being in that region or moved into that region, period. So you have L2 being connected to various groups of European and other Shemitic groups of men DNA pool. So you can have that with J. The issue is with J is the whole concept of J being the same thing as E1B1A. You know, in other nations, other pockets of you know groupings of women and everything, and remember this is not at a majority clip, so a lot of this information is dealing with what they said is like the majority of the like a large percentage of the population. And even in Nigeria you have a lot of E1B1A groups of people, but the Yoruba and the Igbo and the Edo, um, the Fan, a lot Dogon, a lot of those groups of people are dealing with small percentages of that region because you have Haza, you have Fula, Fube, Fulani, major clans of people that are the majority of many multiple regions. So be mindful of that. So yeah, U3, H6, and these are just source information with articles and research projects and books. So I think I'll just scroll out. And let's see, go to the photo. Because I think what they are trying to do, there's these doctrines. So they are trying to help confirm. I don't know. I don't know if these people are getting, money for, you know, misinforming people about DNA information. I don't know. My channels are not that big. I'm not gonna, be a person that use my ancestry for money. Period. Other people. Now I don't mind telling people, other people, who they are, where they going, where they been, what crimes they committed. I don't mind doing that. But yeah, my people, for money and stuff, yeah, I won't do that. But the other people, yes, I will. So I do have another YouTube channel to where I do that, and I don't mind getting whatever money people want to give to me for telling them the truth about their people. Other than that, my people, yeah, it's not gonna be monetized. So this is what a lot of people are trying to connect the dots with. But they still left out the African tribes, the Ethiopian groups of people. So we look at that and this. This is what they are trying to get into. So we go to this map. Saw this on Google a long time ago. I was like, yeah, a lot of people think this is a accurate depiction of white DNA in the mapping of people, and it's not. So right off the bat, they have AB right. AB is him. D is a separate group from E. So D is dealing with Ammonites. And yes, D is a Shemitic grouping of people. So it's E. So the whole pool of E is a large pool. But every group in E has a stopping point in their proteins. So these are separate groups of people, but they are closely related. That's how we know these are Abrahamic groups of people. This is how we know Ishmael, Israel, Edom, Midian, and then you have F dealing with Elam. So you have all these Shemitic groups of people, and they say it's Japhet. C is dealing with Shemitic Moabites. The only group of people that are Japhetic people underneath Japhet is G and H. So G and H supposed to be connected to this right here at the bottom. But at the bottom they connect IJK to Shem. So you have parts of India for F. Uh, you have for G, Georgia, Russia, Caucasus Mountains. H, a big piece of India. C, you got parts of Asia, uh, a giant part of Australia, parts of North, Central, and South America for C, for the Shemitic Moabites. Now we move into IJK, dealing with Shemitic groups of people. So I is dealing with Scandinavian people. J dealing with the group in between Armenia and Azerbaijan, Turkey region. K is dealing with the original Greek people that are now located in the Pacific Island region of Solomon Island and Oceania. So now you have N, Q, and O. So those are the representation of the imitation race of people that are dealing with Asia, like China, Japan. So you have the pale complexion, Japhetic Asian people that are feeling, and they have dark complexion people. So we can't say all the pale complexion, but the like we said before, Japhet have various complexion types of people that can mimic, native other countries that they are in, and you have that with N, Q, and O. So um, Asia, Japan, you have some O in Africa, you have some, not some Q, but a lot of Q in North, Central, and South America. R1, R1A, R1B, R12, R2, all the R's. This group is dealing with obviously Western Europe, and due to them being heavily involved in the slave trade, due to them being heavily involved in various treaties and partnerships and everything, they have forced their people, depending on the complexion type, around the world because of various reasons. Most of the reason is political, and for the whole concept of creating this whole Anglo-Saxon paradigm of people being pale complexion, the supremacists, or a supreme race of people, when a lot of these Japhetic people, most of them are dealing with dark complexion people. So the pale complexion group of this grouping of people is a, you know, uh, minority versus the majority of the scattered population of this group, being scattered on purpose, not by slave trade methods and stuff. So a lot of those people just relocated, period. Relocated on good terms and purposely, and easily claim the whole thing of being native when they are not native. And that's about it. So let's look at this map real quick. As you can see, the first Native American people to settle in the Americas was the Shemitic Moabites, and then the Q group dealing with the Japhetic Asian people, and then the European people dealing with the Japhetic Caucasian people, R1B. So all these people that's claiming to have Native American people on both sides of their family and they're black, most likely they are dealing with R1B, YDNA, A, B, C, D, mtDNA, and possibly even X and U, mtDNA as well. So that was my argument about why J is not, Israel, because you have G right here. In order to get all these other groupings, you have to move people. So G is an ancestor. J right here came next, as you can see, in the back pocket of that region, and then started to branch out. And then you start to get all the other groups. But yeah, if they could fake it until they make it in their own kingdom, because they're not gonna make it in the next kingdom. But yeah, the marker, the DNA structure that you need for Israel is coming from the source region of the Great Lakes because of the Nile River, because Israel lived in Egypt for centuries. Remember, the family went into Egypt and they left Egypt as many nations of people or tribes of people. So that source from the Great Lakes to the Nile is dealing with E3A. And I hate when they do that E3A because a lot of people don't know that it's E1B1A. They think it's a mutation of E1A, but it's not. And that's what the games that they try to play with people when they are looking for E1B1A. They do EV38, E-M2, um, E3A. They do other mutation groupings. They'll easily do DE. They'll do E and leave it at that, even though there's a E1A, a E2, a E1B1B. Um, I can't get into the other information because like the other information is like the um the next level. So the next level is like this other group that belongs to E1B1A is that because of this reason. So there's a lot of scriptures that um, J1 or J2 don't account for, or a lot of land um, marking that they don't account for, a lot of scattering that they can't account for. At best, mercenaries and merchants that they have the excuse for being into certain parts of various regions and countries and tribes. But E1B1A has like the obvious, the slave trades, the Bantu migration. So yeah, that was all I had to rant about the article. I have to go back and continue to review the video because like it wasn't that far along before I start to go like crazy about everything. I was like, they are trying to use the limbo hoax, and who and why they're doing it, I don't know. I don't know if it's for money. I don't know if it's like just trolling. I don't know if it's just like a demonic um, stumbling block placed upon them to just say we're gonna lose our minds and just say wild things while thinking about a lot of the other stuff that we already went into. And yes, DNA is a updated concept, but once you get that template on basis of nations of people, like once you have a understanding of your core group of nations of people, there's no more updates to where it's going to be a shocking update or a game changing update. It's just something that you missed. So the overall template is there. A lot of stuff is like tiny details that you have to constantly, look back on and like say, okay, I missed this, or it was there, I just overread something and missed it. But a lot of the information, because remember that article is recent, and I have this PDF from 2013. This article is from um, 2023, maybe even last year. I download this information. Is the download? Yeah. So I download the information back in 2021 multiple times. There probably even a 2020 PDF file of the same thing that I download, because um, I was like, oh, they just tend to let everybody from the project um, publish their own, point of view of the research, and it's the same thing, um, different amounts of pages, So, so yeah, this is not like a new thing. A new thing would be that Masada, like if they could get skull sample, I'm pretty sure they probably already did, and they like, man, these are like E1B1A. This is dealing with L2, you know. Pretty sure there's some E1B1B in there, because like the it's like they pointed out, Edom and Israel both was fighting against Rome at that point, because Rome wanted all that territory. And you don't think Edom wanted that territory as well? So um, we have to be mindful that, um, our understanding of certain doctrines are being, our stumbling block when it comes to DNA, because a lot of people think most of the Romans was dealing with Edom. A lot of people think most of the Greeks are dealing with Edom. Well, Edom fought alongside with Israel. The other issue is, according to DNA, there's tears of Edom in the location of a certain Bible prophecy that's supposed to happen. So, um, a lot of things are still lining up with the right context of information in DNA. We just are constantly just saying white people are this, white people are that, and it's like two different groups of white people that are hiding in plain sight. With that being said, I want to say all praise to the Most High Yahweh, and to His Son, my brother, Amashiach, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings once again to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. Thank y'all for the views. Thank y'all for the comments. Feel free to leave a comment according to the community guidelines in the comment section, and I'll reply to it with a comment or a video. Other than that, thank y'all and peace.